baby.
Hey guys, Cassie here. Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year! As you can see, I have a lovely new setup here. Ooh, I got this tapestry for Christmas, and I also got a new tripod, which you can't see, but it is definitely helping filming to be a whole lot easier, so that is nice. First, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of my lovely subscribers who have been so patient with me throughout the month of December. I took a bit of a break there for the whole month, partially to regroup after NaNoWriMo, because while that was a whole lot of fun, it was also a lot of work doing all that writing and filming weekly vlogs and editing the vlogs every week. It was just a lot. So I decided to take the month of December off to kind of just relax and maybe write a little if I wanted to, or read if I wanted to, or film if I wanted to, but nothing really very structured. But now it is January 1st and we are back in business. Another reason I wanted to take December off from filming and writing, or at least structured writing, is because I have some new things coming up on my channel, some new series of videos and things like that that I wanted to begin in January, so I needed some time to kind of flesh out those details. We'll talk about that more later in the video, but first things first, since it's January 1st, I figured this would be a great time to discuss my goals for 2019. So without further ado, let's get into it. Since this is a writing channel, I will start with my writing goals. At some point in 2019, I would like to, number one, publish my next novel, Broken Together, which is almost finished with the first draft. So after I finish the first draft, I'll have my mom and sister read it. They're kind of like my, I guess you would call it like my alpha readers. And then I'll get their feedback, do some edits, and then send it out to beta readers, do some more edits, and then kind of finalize it. So I'm not sure how long all of that will take, but I definitely think it is an attainable goal to have that novel published and ready for the public by the end of 2019. My second writing related goal for 2019 is to finish the first draft of my other book that I'm working on, which is still currently untitled. I've written quite a bit of it, but it's just kind of little scenes here and there. They're not together yet, and I haven't done an outline for it yet, but that's kind of the next thing on my list once Broken Together is finalized. Next, we have my reading goals, and for this year of 2019, my goal is just to read at least 50 books, and that also includes audiobooks, because if I didn't, there's no way I would be able to read 50 books in 1 year. I mean, maybe it would be possible. It's not like impossible, but it would be really hard, and that's not really my top priority. But I did get a subscription to Scribd for Christmas, which I'm really excited about. It's a service kind of like Netflix for books with audio. They have audiobooks and ebooks and like even some just documents, like little worksheets and sheet music. It's a pretty cool service. I have had some buggy issues with it, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm really enjoying being able to listen to audiobooks at work. Next, we will move on to my personal goals. The first of which is that I would like to try to spend some time every morning reading my Bible for a little while and then doing some yoga or stretching for a little while. I've been doing this for the past week or so, partially because my back has been like really messed up for months and months, and I haven't really been able to figure out what's going on with that. So I started doing some stretches in the morning, every morning, and that's actually helped like tremendously. I already work out like at least twice a week at the gym, but that's more like weightlifting and stuff, not stretching or yoga. So yeah, doing that in the mornings has been really, really helpful. As of right now, I don't really do it every single day, but it is kind of a goal of mine to at least try to do it mostly daily. Some other personal goals of mine for this year are that I would like to, in general, just eat healthier, which is kind of not a very specific goal, but I don't always like things to be super structured, like I have to eat this every day or like plan out all my meals. I just in general would like to be more conscious of eating healthy. I also would like to be more conscious of my spending. My husband and I have some goals, big goals that we're wanting to accomplish that involve saving money. So we kind of have a budget now that we want to stick to this year. So that's something I want to be more conscious of. And moving on to relationships, one thing I would like to do more is spend time with people, which sometimes is kind of, I hate to say it this way, but kind of a chore for me. Like I am very introverted, and I'm someone who could probably just be alone in my home for like weeks and not even think twice about the fact that I haven't seen another human being in weeks. So it's kind of hard for me to, sometimes I have to kind of push myself to go out and do things with other people. But I also really like other people, and I have a lot of good friends that I want to be even closer with, and you don't get that way by never seeing people. So I want to be more conscious of trying maybe at least like once a week to do something with a friend, even if it's just like reaching out to them via like a phone call or texting or something to see how they're doing. Just something to stay connected with other people and kind of put some energy into those relationships instead of like just hoping that they grow without really watering the grass. And another thing that I want to do more starting this year is my husband and I have talked about how we want to have kind of weekly sort of date time. Not necessarily like going out on a date to dinner or movie or something, but just some sort of structured time where we are consciously spending time together, because we work together, so we're together like pretty much 24/7, like all day, every day. So it's really easy to think that we have that part of our relationship covered, like, well, we're always together, so we're good. But we don't always really spend a lot of time together on purpose, if that makes sense. So I'd like to work on that this year. And those are kind of all of my goals for 2019. So it's not a huge list. I don't want to like bog myself down with all these crazy goals. I just want to have like all of these goals are pretty attainable, I think. Reading 50 books and publishing Broken Together, those are things that are probably going to happen without even really trying very hard. Writing the first draft of my second book that I'm working on, finishing that this year, will be a little bit more of a challenging goal, so it's not necessarily something that would come easily if I didn't try, but that's the point of setting a goal, is to push myself a little bit to get something done that I might not have if I wasn't really consciously working on it. So now that we've discussed my 2019 goals, it's time to move into talking about the future plans for my channel, which I am super excited to share with all of you. I have been thinking about all these plans for probably like a couple months now. I think just before or right around when Nano started in November is when I got all these ideas for things I wanted to do with my channel, but I just couldn't do them yet because NaNoWriMo was insane. And then I didn't really want to start new stuff in December. It just felt like January would be a good time to start fresh. So that's part of why I took December off, to sort of solidify these plans and get things prepared for starting fresh in January. But I have been dying to share all of this with you guys. So here we go. So first things first, I would like to stick to my schedule that I've already set up, which is posting new videos on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday. Now, I used to do shorter tip videos on Tuesdays, and then Thursdays were sort of like a longer video, and that was my structure for a while, but that's gonna be changing a little bit. Moving forward, starting right now, Tuesdays videos are gonna be things sort of like this that don't fall into a specific category, like goal videos or maybe wrap-ups and TBRs, reading reviews, tags, or any kind of writing tip that I just decide I want to do a full video on. And then Thursdays are going to be a little more structured as a series. So each month I'm going to be doing some kind of different series, and I have a few ideas in mind. One that I have in mind that I've been toying with doing is some kind of series about like using personality tests to help your character development, like with the Myers-Briggs, or the there's one that's like just personality types 1 through 6 test. And there's also a really interesting one I just went through with my husband in this marriage book where they were talking about how everybody has a different type of negative communication style, and I felt like it would be a really good way to introduce some very realistic and tangible flaws to your characters, which is something sometimes I know I struggle with, trying to give my main characters flaws, because you want them to be likable, but you also want them to be realistic. So that's a video I'm really excited about, and that'll be part of that series of talking about how to use personality tests to enhance your characters. Another series I'm really excited about is kind of one that I took from Julian Greystoke's videos. She did a series recently where she did sort of a read-along critical reading of Jenna Moressi's The Savior's Champion, and she basically just read the book on camera and sort of picked it apart and picked out all the little things that didn't work very well. And even though I really love that book, it was so helpful for me hearing all of those things. I feel like sometimes critical things or like negative reviews are more helpful as a writer than the positive reviews. Like, it's nice to hear what people liked, but sometimes, I don't know, I feel like for myself, it's really helpful to hear what people didn't like in other books, and with really specific examples too, which is something I really liked about Julian Greystoke's videos, which I will link down below, by the way. Her series where she read through The Savior's Champion was really interesting. I just learned a lot about what not to do and what to look out for in my own writing, and I felt like it was so helpful, and I wanted to watch more videos of that kind of style because I was like, oh my gosh, that was so useful for me. And then when I went and looked for more videos like that, I just couldn't find anything. So I reached out to Julian and I asked her, hey, what would you think about me doing like a similar style of video? I don't want you to feel like I'm stealing your idea, but I think it would be really good for people to see more of this kind of style of video, and I haven't seen a lot of that out there. And she was totally on board, and she said that she would love to see more of that type of video. And so yeah, that is one of the series I'm going to be doing. I have a couple books in mind already. I know I'm going to be reading To All the Boys I've Loved Before because I did not like that book, and I did it kind of a negative review of it already, but I want to like go through it more specifically. And that book is also part of a series, so I might continue on and read the second and third books as well, do critical readings of those. If anybody has any recommendations of books they'd like to see me read for that series, I am totally open for that. Leave them down below in the comments. The only thing I will say is that they can't be books that are like nearly flawless, like The Hunger Games or something, because I'm not gonna find enough things to critique about The Hunger Games. It's just great. But on the other hand, I don't want to be reading books that are just like really objectively terrible, because that's just gonna be like, I feel like there's no point really in picking apart little things like, oh, well, you said this, like this was a little bit telly instead of showy. Like, that seems pointless when the whole book is just garbage already to begin with. So as far as suggestions go, I'm really looking for things that are like maybe a popular series, or at least something that is not terrible, but you know, has some flaws. And then the third series idea that I have in mind right now, which is going to be starting this very Thursday, is a series in which I'm going to be reverse engineering the outlines of some popular novels using different plotting methods. I came up with this idea a while ago, and I wanted to do it just for myself to kind of as a learning tool, and then I decided, well, maybe I should just do it on camera so that other people can learn from it as well. So basically I have some different books picked out, and I have some different plotting methods picked out, and I'm going to be sort of trying to create what that book's outline might have looked like if the author had used this plotting method. So for example, this Thursday, if all goes well, I haven't filmed this video yet, but we'll see how it goes. This Thursday, I'm going to be reading The Hunger Games, and I'm going to be outlining it using my personal outline method. I figured that would be an easy way to sort of wade myself into this style of video because I'm very familiar with The Hunger Games. It's one of my favorite books, and I'm obviously very familiar with my personal outline style, so it'll kind of be an easy one to get into. And then I already have some videos planned out for the rest of the month. These things are subject to change because I haven't filmed any of these videos yet, so I might switch around the order or whatever. But so far, what I have planned for next week is I'm going to be reverse engineering the outline for Once and For All by Sarah Dessen using the skeletal outline method. And then the following week, I'm going to be doing Twilight using the snowflake method. Then The Savior's Champion by Jenna Maressi using the Save the Cat method. And then finally on January 31st, I will be doing the Selection by Kira Cass using the 3-act structure method. So I am super excited to get into those videos. I think it's gonna be a whole lot of fun and also just really informative for myself and for all of you watching. And I would encourage you all to watch the videos, yes, but also to do that on your own because I think it'll be even more of a learning tool, like actually hands-on doing it yourself, reverse engineering those outlines. So I'm really excited to get started with that. So that is all I have for you in terms of my channel plans going forward. These are the ideas I have right now, and once I get through all of those, you know, I could keep going with some of these things. I could keep doing critical ratings of books like till the end of time because there's plenty of material for that. And there are also plenty of other plotting methods than the ones I just listed. So I might do another month of reverse engineering outlines as well. But for now, that is where we're at. And the last thing that I want to announce that is also very exciting is that I have a Patreon. By the time this video goes up, it should be ready to go, so I will link it in the description. I'm not going to go through all the details, but I will briefly talk about some of the tiers. For those of you who aren't familiar with Patreon, basically it's a site in which you can donate to creators a certain amount of money per month, and depending on how much you donate, there are different tiers of rewards that you get. So for instance, my $1 tier includes getting a shout out on YouTube. So if you sign up to be my patron and to donate $1 a month to me, then I will shout you out on YouTube and give you a thank you here. I will also follow you on Twitter or Instagram, whichever you choose. And you will get very first notice about book releases, cover reveals, giveaways, stuff like that. I have a few other tiers as well, and some of those rewards include 2-day early access to YouTube videos, patron-only vlogs, patron-only live streams, 1,000 word or less edits or critiques of your work. So each month you can send me a sample of your work and I will critique it for you. And at the highest tier, you can get free copies of all of my upcoming releases for now. Voila. And at the highest tier, you can get free advanced copies of all of my upcoming novels. There are more rewards in there as well, so if you'd like to check that out, link will be in the description below to my Patreon page, and it will lay out all of those rewards for you and all of the different tiers, and I'm really excited about it. So that is all I have for you guys today. I have to admit, it feels kind of weird being back in front of a camera after taking a month off. I feel a little scatterbrained and like this was a mess, but hopefully editing will smooth it all out and it'll be great. But this is all I have for you today. Just a quick update on my channel, my Patreon page, my goals for 2019, and on Thursday we'll begin the first video of a new series. So if you want to stick around for that and be notified when I upload, hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And as I mentioned before, if you have any suggestions for books you'd like me to do critical readings of, or maybe books you'd like me to reverse engineer the outlines for, or methods of outlining that you'd like to see me do in those videos, please leave those suggestions down below and I will take them into consideration. I'll see y'all next time and have a great day. Bye!